Scrap Wrangler here, biggest toad in the scrap pond, and I'm going to talk about ribbon. Apparently there's a lot of crafters who are barking at a knot all about them itty bitty scraps of ribbon you have all over your craft room. Now I know you put a lot of greenbacks into every one of them spools, and you just don't really want to part with even them itty bitty pieces. I know if I were to tell you to throw them away, that dog just won't hunt. So I'm going to show you some ideas in a little bit here for how to use some of them little itty bitty scraps. Now while I have all May Arts ribbon, I know a bunch of you have SER, and that would be somebody else's ribbon. Now what we got to do is get you using up all that ribbon so you can then go and buy some good stuff from that May Arts company, because they just make some yummy ribbon. But the scraps is what we're here to talk about today. I'm going to show you 6 ideas for them itty bitty scraps that you can use, and I think you're going to be kind of excited to use up some of that stuff you got hanging around. Idea number 1, now this is really easy. Find yourself a spot on a card to hang a little end of ribbon out from under an image or a sentiment. Or like I did here, you just loop it over. You glue one bit on the top and one bit underneath, and you can do that with just a little 2-inch piece, no problem. Idea number 2, you just poke some holes right through your project. Thread your little scrap of ribbon right up through both holes, then fluff them ends as you will. If you put your good strong adhesive underneath of that ribbon, when you stick the card front down, it'll hold that thing right in place. No bulky bow to make that card all lumpy. And I added a little heart to the middle of mine. Idea number 3, I had a piece of blue and a piece of red, but not enough of both to do on the card, so the blue goes around the panel, and then the red is going to make a knot. By a hook or crook, we're going to get this working all nice. I'm not going to snug the knot down. That way it'll lay all flat like on my finished card, and it'll go really well through the mail. Idea number 4 is a card for a cowpoke. My piece of ribbon ain't but an inch bigger than the card front, right? So no room for a bow. Well, you just tie a little knot in it and keep it loose. Now don't snug it up until it's where you want it, and adjust it on up. Then attach it to the back of the panel, and there you got a bang up card fit for Grandpa. He's just gonna love that. Idea number 5 is going to get a little bit fancier. First, I layered a panel for the card, and I cut a die cut of a heart out of it. I'm going to set aside the outside part and work just on the heart first. Got to get it all sticky as a beehive with this here score tape. Got to cover it up piece by piece. Just stick this stuff on there and peel off the paper layer on the outside. Then I can lay down my ribbon scraps teeny tiny pieces one at a time. I can even use this wide chevron and put some 1/4-inch score tape on the top of that, and then I can layer even more ribbon scraps. Once it's all covered up all nice, and we just turn it on over and trim off this worst of the mess over here, because it's just kind of a mess on the back and you don't want any hanging outside of the panel. So now it's time to put it together. So you grab your card base layer, and then you got to line up the heart in the hole on the panel that's going to go in front. Then you get everything all squared up nice and straight. Don't do this with a lick and a promise. Make it nice now. I had my glue on the back and glued it all down all nice. Then I had to put some dimensionals on the back of the front panel and add on some twine, and it was all done. Ain't they pretty? Idea number 6. Now I picked out some fancy designer paper with a whole lot of colors. You can go with a solid color too, that'd be right pretty. I attached the ribbon scraps all along the side with score tape. And then I gotta add more score tape along the back to make it all sticky like again. And then I line up the edge of the cardstock on that black line, And then I fold back each piece of ribbon at a mark of my choosing to make the loops all the same size. And just one by one, just fold them all over so they end at the same place. How cool is that? Now here's the finished card. Isn't that just pretty? You could even picture it with a pretty solid color panel paper. That'd work real nice, or lots of loops of one color ribbon too. Pop your corn in the comments down below and tell me, how big is your scrap bag? How much stuff have you been hoarding? Shoot your mouth off down there in the comments, and maybe you could even share this video with a varmint who might have more scraps than you. I'm going to skedaddle now before all these Western terms get me all up in a spout. Rattle up your hocks and get busy using up them scraps.